for abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another amazing race night with the Precision Racing League. The Dread Broadcasting Network welcomes you aboard the action train here at Talladega Superspeedway tonight. And the Precision Racing League does bring you the Don't Text and Drive 95 by Mike Taylor as round 6 of the American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by HighTorqueTexas.com and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com. I'm your commentator, Sean Zulu, and I am joined by my partner in crime and producer, Dave Everly. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. Ready to go some plate track racing here at Talladega.
Oh, absolutely. Some wide open 200 plus miles an hour side-by-side drafting to come for 95 laps. Well, Dave, start off by telling us about tonight's race, please.
Well, taking a look here at our weather, we are 82 degrees, air temperature, track temperature of 101, with the wind southeast at 7 miles an hour under partly cloudy conditions.
And as usual, the drivers do have a 60% fuel limit. That is 60%. So we should expect to see at least 2 to 3 pit stops in order for these guys to be able to make it the full length, which is 95 laps. Long way to go. A lot can happen. So it's going to be interesting to see which team propels, because we have 16 different teams with a total of 32 drivers, and all 16 teams are going to be going against each other. Well, just a little bit of recap from last week's race. The round of 5 at Iowa last week, we had Dallas Pataska bring it home. 48, Markel Murphy came out second. The 14, Cody Johnson came out third. The 3 of Dale Robertson came out fourth. The 9 of Austin Moore came out fifth. We had 27 Danny Duchesne come out 6th. We also had the 24 Corey Blevins 7th, 911 John LaBeouf 8th, 88 James O'Brien 9th, and Mike Taylor did round up the top 10. And Mike Taylor once again is the sponsor of tonight's race, the Don't Text and Drive 95, as a part of round 6 of the American iRacing Sunday Series here at PRL, brought to you by HighTorqueTexas.com and TheBrakeMod.com. And here in the top 10, the drivers that finished the top 10, their teams are as follows: Dallas Pataska from DAMP Motorsports, Markel Murphy from Flat Out Motorsports, Poddy Johnson, Big D's Racing, Darrell Robertson, Voltage Racing, Austin Moore, DAMP Motorsports with Dallas Pataska, Danny Duchesne, DM Racing Team, Corey Blevins, Flat Out Motorsports, John LaBeouf, LIT or Lit Motorsports, James O'Brien, Underdog Motorsports, and Mike Taylor from Big Block Sim Race Team. But moving on to our current season standings, we do have Dallas Pataska taking over the lead as of last week. He came from 2nd to 1st this week. 48 Markel Murphy from 1st. Well, he was tied with the 8 of Aguiar last week, but he's now bumped down to 2nd. The 24 Corey Blevins still 3rd in points. The 8 of Aguiar bumped from 1st, being tied with Markel last week, to 4th this week. 88 James O'Brien still in 5th place. 95 Jeffrey Ford is now 6th from 4th. Actually, he's tied with the 9 of Austin Moore. So Austin Moore and Jeffrey Ford both tied for the 6th place spot. Jean-Francois Champagne, the 13, is currently in 7th and still in 7th. The 54 of Lance Marsh still in 8th. The 6 of Steven Mattox back in the top 10 in 9th. And the 60 of Cotton Lane went from 9th place to 10th place, still in the top 10, and now rounding up the top 10 in points. And the drivers' teams here in points are as follows. We do have Pataska, DAMP Motorsports once again, Markel Murphy from Flat Out Motorsports, Corey Blevins, Flat Out Motorsports. So we still have 2 teammates, 2nd and 3rd, Markel Murphy, Corey Blevins, Flat Out Motorsports, Steven Aguiar, Wrangler Motorsports, James O'Brien, Underdog Motorsports, Jeffrey Ford, Ford Lane Motorsports, Austin Moore, DAMP Motorsports, Jean-Francois Champagne, Champs with Mercy, Lance Marsh, Big D's Racing, Steven Mattox, Misfit Motorsports, and Cotton Lane, Ford Lane Motorsports. And that once again does round up the top 10 in points. Well, Dave, tonight it's going to be an amazing race here at Talladega Superspeedway. This track does separate the men from the boys when it comes down to the drafting and the pushing and all the teamwork that takes place, or that has to take place for success.
Yeah, most definitely these guys are going to have to run in close quarters at high rates of speed of 195 mile an hour plus. Well, Sean, it looks like qualifying is over, so we are going to be getting ready to start gridding up here for the Don't Text and Drive 95 here at the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series.
Yep, we are going to give these guys a few seconds before we go down this list. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, do not text and drive, PADD. People are against distracted driving. This is the Don't Text and Drive 95. Stay alive, don't text and drive. Well, going down our starting order tonight, we do have the 14 of Poddy Johnson, Big D's own, who finished 3rd place last week at Iowa. Is going to be starting on the pole. 88 James O'Brien, 2nd. We have the 21 of Trevor White, 3rd. The 5 of Jason Ashby, 4th. 28 of Eric Roberts, 5th. And that does round up the top 5 so far. The 27 of Danny Duchesne starting 6th. The 17 of Jerome Berthome, 7th. 24 of Corey Blevins, 8th. The 3 of Darrell Robertson starting 9th. And the 911 John LaBeouf will round up the top 10 in tonight's grid. The 60 of Cotton Lane, 11th. The 45 of Eddie Hawks, might have messed that up. No, 45 Eddie Hawks is actually 12th, yes. 23 of Craig Hawkins, 13th. 813 Mike Taylor, tonight's race sponsor, 14th. The 59 of David White, 15th. We have the 8 of Steven Aguiar, 16th, and he will be the last car to qualify. And I believe I might have skipped the name. The 60 of Cotton Lane starting in the 11th place spot. But going back down to the drivers who have not qualified. 48 Markel Murphy starting in the 17th place spot. The 6 of Steven Mattox starting 18th. We have the 40 of Aaron R. Groskov going to be starting in the 19th place spot. We also have the 95 Jeffrey Ford starting in the 20th place. The 41 Chris Perez 21st. We have the 9 of Austin Moore 23rd. 54 of Lance Marsh 24th. And the 78 of Ronald McManus in the 25th place position. And so far we're gonna have a 24 car field actually, because one driver of the 25 is not racing with us tonight. But going back up front, these guys start rolling these machines 80 miles an hour pace speed, warming up for the long race to come. 101 degrees Fahrenheit track temp. Well, Dave, it's not the prettiest temperature for a super speedway, but these guys are gonna have no choice but to get the job done regardless.
Yeah, most definitely. We've got a little bit of here, 95 laps to go here at Talladega. They got some time. We're going to see some pit stops. So it'll be anybody's game. We've seen people come from the back and win it. So it'll be anybody's game out there, Sean.
Oh, absolutely. Very nicely said. It's not over until it's over. And in this lineup, the 14 of Johnson is going to have the 21 of Trevor White on his rear end on the inside line. The 88 of James O'Brien leading the outside with the help of the 5 of Jason Ashby. And the season standings leader is actually not racing tonight. That's the 1 of Dallas Pataska, but we do look forward to seeing him back after next week for round 7 at Road America. It looks like we are missing a couple of drivers. We hope that everyone's doing well out there, and we do look forward to seeing them back for the next round on June 4th, because next week we have no race. We will be off for the Memorial Day weekend. But these guys getting bunched up nice and tight, entering turns number 3 and 4, exiting turn 4 this time by going green for the first time. Well, Dave, do the honors.
Looks like the pace car is getting ready to dip off here onto pit road, bringing them the green flag first time. Will be the 14 of Paul D. Johnson as he brings them through the dogleg. The 88 of James O'Brien on the outside, 21 on the inside, the 5 on the outside, as we got the green flag and they put the pedal down to the metal.
And both pushes 21, Trevor White, 5, Jason Ashby caught sleeping quite a bit, but not to worry. The 2 leaders, Paul D. Johnson and the 88 of James O'Brien, side drafting the crap out of each other. Still getting up to speed though, not gonna do too much just yet. The 5 of Ashby clears that bottom lane, drops down, but nobody jumps back high to pick up the 88 of James O'Brien, who might have been a sitting duck here. The 27 Dan Duchesne backs off there to avoid trouble. We have some 3 wide table right now. 9-11 John LaBeouf, 3 out on the outside line. 24 Corey Blevins in the middle lane. 9-11 John LaBeouf left out high and dry. Is he gonna go back down? Yes, he clears that middle lane. Will fall back in line to avoid losing any more spots than he already has. But up front right now, it's still battle for the race between 14 of Johnson and the 88 of James O'Brien. And James O'Brien does clear bottom lane, but decides to stay high.
Yeah, as we saw in previous races here at Talladega, takes a little bit for that outside lane to go, but I tell you what, the 5 of Ashby gets a good push on the 88 of James O'Brien, and they are both going to clear the 14 of Paul D. Johnson, and James O'Brien is going to take over the lead here on lap 2.
That 14 of Johnson, very stubborn, jumps up to the outside line, says no, but I'm going to try and take this race lead back. It was rightfully mine. The 5 of Ashby tries to jump up there. He takes him 3 of 27 of Danny Duchesne on his rear end. That 5 of 27 almost taps the wall, but he was able to stay off it. And the 14 of Johnson will suffer from it because they are not hooked up. They are spaced out quite a bit. The closer they are, the more bunched up they are, the more speed they get, the more momentum they get, and the more positions they will gain. Because of that, the 28 of Eric Roberts right now in the middle, 3 wide, trying to help the 5 of Jason Ashby in the middle lane, and Dave, the 3rd lane on the outside, is not alive just yet.
No, they do got 3 cars up there with Johnson, Duchesne, and the 23 of Craig Hawkins, but they are just not moving, so I look for them to drop back down here, as it looks like Paul D. Johnson is going to drop down behind the 6 machine of Stephen Maddox and take it back to 2 wide here on the backstretch.
And further back in the pack, Dave, we do have some drivers falling off the pace. They're not really falling off the pace, but they are separating themselves from the main pack. Namely, we have the 45 Eddie Hawks, 813 Mike Taylor, 59 of David White, 54 Lance Marsh, and the 48 of Markel Murphy. Well, Dave, last season, these drivers had a very bad race. Well, most of the drivers had a very bad race at Talladega Superspeedway, so most of them right now just pretty much backing off, trying to not let history repeat itself.
Yeah, it's a long race here at Dega. They got 95 laps. We have 92 laps remaining, so there's still a lot of time. They are just trying to hang back here, and just in case something happens up front, they have a chance at missing it. As we know here at the Precision Racing League, they do not have any backup cars, so any damage, they're going to have to let their pit crew try to bang it out.
Yeah, that's time they would rather spend racing than spend down pit road getting that damage fixed. And Dave, further back in the pack, the three of Dale Robertson was trying to make some moves, but nobody would follow him. Well, it looks like he's going to follow the 54 of Lance Marsh to maybe form an outside line. Nope. 54 Lance Marsh drifts way high. The three of Robertson goes back down to 48 of Markel Murphy to ride that single foul line. And Dave, by the looks of it, they are catching up to the main pack up front.
Yeah, they got a good run, so they are starting to catch that draft. But I don't know if they're in too big of a hurry here. Is going back up front here. You know, we still got some 3 wide with the 28 of Eric Roberts on the outside with the help of 6 of Stephen Maddox. That 5 of Jason Ashby is getting pushed by the 911 of John LaBeouf with the 14 of Paul D. Johnson. They are getting a good run. There's a little gap between the 17 of Jerome Bartholomew and the 21 of Trevor White, who's pushing on the 88 of James O'Brien. Looks like Jason Ashby is going to lead this lap.
And we have been 3 wide for the longest time, but right now the 6 of Mattox does drop down to the bottom lane and dumps the 28 of Roberts on the outside, but the 23 of Hawkins will assist him on the outside, or at least try to. They don't have enough of a run to make a difference just yet. They just might have enough time to build it up, but it's difficult to tell. So far they're drifting way a little bit too high, not having enough room there. I mean, the higher they go, the more distance they cover. At this moment they do have less speed, so that is a double negative for them, so they have no choice but to fall back in line, which they do so here, and they go back down to a double wide, but going back up front. The 5 of Jason Ashby is challenging the 911 John LaBeouf for the race, and the 5 of Ashby propels here a slight nose, cross and start finish, and is going to lead here on lap 7.
Yeah, it looks like that outside, Sean, as you said, is the place to be here on lap 7. But it looks like the 14 of Paul D. Johnson's getting a little warm. He keeps sticking his nose out, trying to get some fresh air under that hood to cool that engine, as they have been bumper to bumper since the start.
Oh, and there we have one driver who had a bad start, the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. The field is catching up to him at a very, very fast rate. The field is pushing about 195 plus miles an hour. About 95, Jeffrey Ford, no draft, pushing about 181 max. Well, 181 to 183 miles an hour, which is a very, very big disadvantage at a super speedway like this. So he will be going a lap down in no time. Actually, he's already being shown a lap down, so he'll be going one more lap down to be put down to 2 laps down. So right now, Dave, he is really hoping for a caution, so he can be back on the lead lap with these guys.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go, because looking here at the front runners, we are still 3 wide up front, as we got the 8 of Stephen Aguilar leading that outside lane with Stephen Maddox and Colton Lane. So we are still 3 wide. They start catching him. I don't know where he's going to go for these drivers to get around him.
Oh, Dave, I am so excited. Hang on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Once we get closer, we will ride that blimp view and see exactly how this plays out. And they are still 3 wide as we speak. The 8 of Stephen Mattox on the outside. That's the 8 of Stephen Aguilar, and 6 of Mattox actually, are both riding nose to tail, very strong on the outside line, not going anywhere, not yet, not going to the back at the moment, but they are still staying nose to tail here, or actually side by side with the leaders in the middle lane and the outside. They almost made contact up front there, but they were able to stay off each other. 14 of Johnson backs off to avoid trouble, and that was a very good move on his part. And here they come, approaching 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Fingers crossed.
I don't know what happened to the 88 of James O'Brien, but he is down on the apron. Oh, the 17 gets turned. We are going to get our first caution of the night.
Oh, heavy contact entering turn 3 there. A lot of heavy damage. 14 of Johnson involved in that. 17 Jerome Bartholomew involved. 40 Aaron Grosco. 45 Eddie Hawks. 60 Coach on lane. 27 Danny Duchesne. And the 813 Mike Taylor as well. A little bit of some damage to the front end. 23 Craig Hawkins. Heavy smoke. The 48 Markel Murphy. Gonna see who can focus on the replay. He looks like 23 of Craig Hawkins was sky high. So David, let's back it up and focus on 23 of Craig Hawkins on replay.
Yeah, looking here, it started with the 27 and the 17. Looks like just got a little bit bent out of shape. He went to bump him, just bumped him in the corner, sent him up into the 23 of Craig Hawkins, which just started a chain reaction right behind him.
Oh man, very, very unfortunate. A lot of drivers who had a bad race last season were involved in that incident there, but hopefully they have enough time for their pit crews to hammer those things out so they can still be out there, at least hopefully maintain enough speed to hang with the leaders for the next green flag run, so they can be able to get the most points possible. But going back up front here, we are being led by the 8 of Stephen Aguiar, the 6 of Stephen Mattox in second place, 9-11 John LaBeouf third, the 5 Jason Ashby fourth, and the 21 of Trevor White in the 5th place spot. And let's see who pits in, let's see who stays out. The 8 of Stephen Aguiar does lead them all down pit road, and everybody will follow. Well, Dave, one driver who's very, very happy to see this caution, that 95, Jeffrey Ford, he was seconds away from going 2 laps down, but was able to stay 1 lap down and actually get the lucky dog because of that. Man, pit road is a very, very busy place. These guys getting some damage fixed. Those pit crews hard at work, trying their best, trying to do the best they can to make those cars look as pretty as possible for those aerodynamics, because they are very, very important for the top speed here at a super speedway like this. But the 8 of Aguiar does exit pit road in the lead once again. Behind the pace car, the 95 Jeffrey Ford is getting the wave around the pace car and gets his lap back here on lap number 11.
Yeah, the race off of pit road, it looks like it is going to be the 8 of Stephen Aguiar with his teammate, the 5 of Jason Ashby, both running in the Wrangler machines there, are going to beat everyone off pit road. The 88 of James O'Brien will come out 3rd, Corey Blevins will be 4th, and John LaBeouf will come out in 5th position.
And yeah, we did see a lot of hard battling up front as soon as the green flag had flown. And Dave, how many lead changes have we had this far?
Well, let's take a look at our race report. We've only had 3 lead changes so far. 1 caution here on lap 10. So it's still early in the race, so I think that number is definitely going to rise.
Oh, it definitely will rise. And unfortunately, Dave, we have lost 2 drivers tonight. We've lost Markel Murphy and the 23 of Craig Hawkins. Very, very unfortunate. Both drivers had a very, very heavy impact in the incident that brought out the caution there. 48 Markel Murphy had some heavy smoke from the rear end, and 23 Craig Hawkins took some serious flight like a helicopter. But we do hope that both drivers are okay, and look forward to seeing them back again for round 7 at Road America on June 4th, because we don't have a race next week due to the Memorial Day weekend. And we still have the lights on the pace car still turned on, so that does give us some time to get a race interview in. Let's focus on one of the drivers up front. The new driver to the, we're going to 78 of Ronald McManus. We haven't spoken much of, and haven't spoken to him in a long time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 78 of Ronald McManus up here. That's gonna come up there, Ron. You got a cup there, Ron? Oh, unfortunately, we're not able to get a hold of the 78 of Ronald McManus, but we will keep trying here before the race is over. We will interview a different driver instead. Let's focus on the 27 of Danny Duchesne. Actually, Danny Duchesne is out of the race. Let's focus on 24 of Corey Blevins instead. We do have the 24 of Corey Blevins up here. That's gonna come up there, Corey.
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight? I was saying, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, great. I barely missed that wreck there, so glad I get to continue in the race. I think there's a little bit too aggressive racing right now, but you know, it happens at restrictor plate races, so I just want to try to stay out front and be out of the way, and hopefully if another big wreck happens.
Oh, 10-4, Corey, and we are glad to hear that you were able to sneak past that wreck, because it did collect a lot of drivers right now. Pit road is very, very busy with a lot of victims trying to get their damage fixed. And Corey, if we do have some green flag pit stops tonight, do you have any strategy in mind to try and separate yourself from the whole pack?
You know, it's just really just to come in and top off on fuel. I mean, tires are not that important here. So I look to try to gain some time, not always take 4 tires. So.
Oh, copy that. That does sound like a very, very good strategy. And buddy, you are now back 1 to green. So we'll let you get back to the driver's seat and keep doing exactly what you're doing. You are headed the right direction, starting in 8th place and new to the top 5 here. So good luck to you, buddy, and make us proud.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And that was the 24 of Corey Blevins, and we are now back 1 to green. We have the 8 of Aguiar in the lead on the inside with the help of the 88 of James O'Brien. On the outside, the 5, Jason Ashby. So we have 2 teammates controlling this restart outside and the inside line. Jason Ashby on the outside with the help of the 24 of Corey Blevins. And we have lost some more drivers, Danny Duchesne and 40 of Aaron Groskov. So we've lost 4 drivers of the 24 drivers. So we only have 20 drivers left in the session. Very unfortunate. But we still look forward to having an amazing race here. Some green flag pit stops yet to come. So we keep our fingers crossed and hopes up for that. But right now we exit turn 4. These guys getting bunched up nice and tight. Their pace car is off. The 8 of Aguiar does pick up the pace quite a bit. He does put it down the floor. He does catch a few drivers off guard. The 5 of Jason Ashby on the outside line trying to catch up. The 88 of James O'Brien already trying to challenge him for the 2nd place spot. The 8 of Aguiar goes up the outside to help his teammate, the 5 of Jason Ashby. 24 Corey Blevins side by side of the 911 John LaBeouf for the 4th place spot here. Entering turns number 1 and 2, and behind them 21 Trevor White trying to catch up. The 6 of Mattox, 28 Eric Roberts, and the 59 of David White, all single file. And Dave, that restart did actually spread out the field a lot. We do have a lot of lone cars. Well, it actually could be because of a lot of them are damaged. Like 28 of Eric Roberts, he is still up to speed, but he does have a little bit of damage on that left side, that left rear of that machine. But it's still going nice and strong. And also further back in the pack, the 17 of Jerome Berthome, who got a piece of that action there in the wreck that happened up front, is further back in the pack here, being overtaken by 45 Eddie Hawks, the 3 of Dale Robertson, and the 54 of Lance Marsh, but still going nice and strong. But going back up from the 5, Jason Ashby, the 8 of Aguiar, now leading that bottom lane with the help of the 911 John LaBeouf. But on the outside, they are being challenged by the 88 of James O'Brien and the 24 of Corey Blevins. That 21 of Trevor White and the 6 of Mattox right now, just keeping a gap in between them and the cars in front of them to avoid any trouble. At the same time, they're cooling their motors. And Dave, the more of a gap they leave there, that means that the more they lift, they are saving gas in the long run.
Yeah, most definitely here was we still have 80 laps remaining, so we still got a little ways to go. But this front pack is just running double file here. Doesn't look like anybody's really trying to make any 2 moves, but we do have the 88 of James O'Brien and the 24 of Corey Blevins on the outside. Also the 6 of Maddox there trying to make a push on that outside, but I don't know if they have enough cars to do it.
And that 8 of Aguiar does kind of drift a little bit high there to side drop the crap out of them to take the air off of them, to slow them down. And by the looks of it did work. He does maintain the lead off turn 4. Well, the 88 of James O'Brien might have a slingshot. Nope, he does not, because the 24 of Corey Blevins is disconnected from him. And Davis actually right on the in car with the 5 of Jason Ashby, so we can watch him push. Oh, actually the 8 of Aguiar jumps up. He's taken 3 by the 88 of James O'Brien, 24 of Corey Blevins is taken 3 wide. He's split down the middle. The 6 of Mattox will follow. can make it a 3-car push on the outside. The 24 Blevins goes spun us sideways. Ada McGuire gets involved. The 88 of James O'Brien. The 28 Eric Roberts. A big wreck there. Exiting turn number 2. Let's back it up and focus on the 24 of Corey Blevins on replay.
Well, as we go back to our replay, focusing on the 24 of Corey Blevins, looks like he gets to the back and a little shove there by the 6. Got him a little squirrely and got him spun around for our second caution of the night.
Oh man, that is very, very unfortunate. A lot of cars that were not damaged did get a piece of that action here during this second caution. So once again, pit road will be very, very busy. But we do hope that these drivers, pit crews, have enough time to straighten those machines out before the end of tonight's race, so they can at least still go out there and put down as many laps as they can. Because the more laps they put down, I guess the more points they'll get in the long run. But going back out from the 5 of Jason Ashby, who was able to sneak past, not a single scratch on his machine, is in the lead. The 911 John LaBeouf, not a single scratch on his machine either. Scanning the rest of the field here, the 21 of Trevor White as well. Third, we have 59 David White and the 60 of Cotton Lane. These guys all seem to have very, very clean machines, so they will still be able to stay competitive, trying to catch that pace car. 95 Jeffrey Ford back on the lead lap here, being shown in the 6th place spot after starting in the 20th place position and starting actually almost 2 laps down, and he was able to get his lap back and is now back on the lead lap. That is very good to see.
Well, we see the 5 of Jason Ashby leading our top 3 guys, the 911 of John LaBeouf and Trevor White, and looks like everybody is going to come down, get some service, some fuel, and try to repair whatever damage is left on their machines to get back out there.
And by looks of it, we have everybody down pit road except for 24 Corey Blevins, Jerome Berthome, who just went down pit road, Ronald McManus and Cody Johnson. The 24 of Corey Blevins will be taking over the race lead. Actually, 24 of Blevins has blown his motor, Dave. He is trying to crawl down to pit road here. Hopefully he can make it. He has backed it down to about 30 miles an hour, and his speed is going nothing but lower. But hopefully he can be able to make it to his pit stall before he doesn't have enough to make it. And this does give us some time for another race interview, so let's focus on the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Unfortunately, we're not able to get a hold of the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, but we will interview the 95 of David White instead. But we do have the 59 of David White up here. Look up there, David.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you, buddy?
Not too bad. It's been a while, eh? First time up here in the booth with you.
Oh, we apologize about that, but we are glad that we're able to get you up here with us. And man, tonight you have been keeping a low profile. Pretty much all you do is keep a low profile in the beginning of the races, but then towards the very end is when you really show your mean side and challenge these guys. How's the race going so far, buddy?
For me, it's been pretty lucky. I've avoided all of the carnage that's happened so far, so that's one of the reasons why I'm way up in front this early in the race. I'm not used to being way up here this early.
Oh, 10-4. And David, from what you've seen with your car, from the handling and the performance that you've been having with your car so far in practice and qualifying, do you think you have what it takes to bring this thing home and spank these guys, keep them behind you for the long run?
I don't know. I got Jason Ashby and a couple of other guys up there that seem to have a little bit more horsepower than I do tonight, but On any given night, you never know. I'm going to do the best I can to stay right with them, and hopefully the cards will play out for me in the end.
Oh, 10-4, brother, you are an amazing driver. You do know how to get the job done. So with that, you do have what it takes to spank these guys and make them enjoy the view of your taillights. But buddy, we'll let you get back to the driver's seat. You've gained 10 spots this far, starting 15th place and currently the 5th place spot. So you are headed the right direction, buddy, and good luck to you and make us proud.
All right, thanks, guys. Definitely thanks for the broadcast. We've been really enjoying it.
And that was the 59 of David White, currently in the 5th place spot. And right now in the top 5, we have 911 John LaBeouf in the lead, 5 Jason Ashby second, 21 Trevor White third, 60 Carlton Lane fourth, and 59 of David White rounding up the top 5 so far. And that leaves us with about 10 cars on the lead lap, and everybody else is a lap or more down, and most of them are still down pit road right now as we speak, getting some damage fixed.
Yeah, they definitely got some time. That's the thing about here at Dega, when the yellow comes out, they have a little bit of time as they pace here at 60 mile an hour, or they're at pace speed, but it's a 2.5 mile track, so they got some time. Meanwhile, the lights on the pace car are now off. We are back to 1 to green, getting ready to do another restart here at Talladega for the Don't Drive and Text 95, brought to you by Mike Taylor.
In this lineup, we do have the 911 John LaBeouf. He hasn't had the best luck this season just yet. And Dave, this is round number 6 of 12. So this is the halfway mark. So Dave, wouldn't you say this is go time?
It's not quite the halfway point. We still have 75 laps to go. So I'm not sure, Sean.
Sorry, I was actually talking about the season. We have round of 12 races, and this is round number 6. So I would guess that it pretty much would be go time for these guys to try and make the best out of the next upcoming races.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to start making a push here as we reach the halfway point of the season. These guys know every point matters here, as the pace car is now bringing them into turn 3 and 4, getting ready to go back green flag racing.
Yep, they do exit turn 4, getting bunched up nice and tight. And rounding up the rear is a 17 of Jerome Berthome. And let's see the pace car duck off here, takes that hard left. Yes, the pace car leaves the racing surface. The 911 John LaBeouf picks up the pace. He puts it down the floor. He does catch them off guard. The 21 of Triple White on the inside of the 5 of Jason Ashby. The 60 of Carlton Lane lagging back quite a bit, but trying to play catch up. The 21 of Triple White might have missed a shift there. Yes, 21 White did miss a shift. And we'll go from about 3rd place to 4th place, even maybe 5th place before the lap is over. 45, Eddie Hawks on the outside line, trying to catch up the 3 of Roberts on the outside. The outside line is the place to be so far. It has a bigger train, a longer train. And we have the 59 of David White, 95 Jeffrey Ford right now picking up the pace, trying to catch that lead pack.
Yeah, it looks like that outside line got a good 3 as the 3 of Dale Robertson jumps down on bottom in front of the John LaBeouf. Looks like Ashby and Colton Lane are going to stay on that outside lane here, as these cars kind of got a little shuffled on that restart.
And that 45, Eddie Hawks takes it to the outside line, 3 wide with the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, who does not hesitate to help him, but nope, he backs it off and takes back 2 wide, dumps him on the outside line. And he just might go from front to back in a hurry. But hopefully he has enough time to catch a break or fall in line before it's too late. And yes, he does. Fall in line behind the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Because the next car in line is the 21 of Trevor White, who is a long ways back behind him. Before Lance Marshall now trying to make a move towards the front. Lance Marshall hasn't spoken much of him tonight, if any. But he did start in the 24th place spot and currently the 9th place spot. And now trying to catch up to the 95 of Jeffrey Ford.
Yeah, it looks like that outside lane is dying, as that inside is making a heck of a push with the 3 of Dale Robertson leading it, the 911 of John LaBeouf, and the 59 of David White, who has moved up into the number 3 position here on this dogleg.
So looking further back in the pack here, we have the 78 of Ronald McManus, the 17 Jerome Bethune, the 21 of Trevor White. These guys riding a little too far from each other, so they are losing the pace. They are losing the front pack, and this is most likely on purpose. Them trying to separate themselves from that lead pack, which is 3 wide, who are 3 wide. 60 of Lane leading the outside of the help of the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. The 5 of Jason Ashby has lost his teammate, the 8 of Aguiar, so he's been left in the middle lane out to dry. But so far using the side draft of both lanes, that draft from both sides, and somehow is maintaining the pace. But right now he's trying to overtake the 60 of Lane and successfully clear the 60 of Cotton Lane, and is trying to get the outside line going. Are they going to push him? Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to jump in line, trying to make that outside line push. Just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. I don't know if those cars are damaged, but it doesn't look like it's really making a move. Actually, now that I say that, the 95 or 60 of Colton Lane, the 95 of Jeffrey Ford make a move on the outside. We are back 3 wide up front again.
And on the inside line, the 3 of Robertson backs off the 911 of John LaBeouf on the that does make the 911 LaBeouf suffer, but it's not showing quite yet because the 5 of Ashby did not have a pusher for the longest time, and the lead pack is now catching up to a slower car. Gonna be going one more lap down. Gonna try and get a number on that machine up there. Looks like that's gonna be the 813. Nope, that's gonna be the 14 of Poddy Johnson and the 813 of Mike Taylor. But that's the 813 of Mike Taylor, who is on the apron there. Gonna be going one more lap down to be put 10 laps down. Very, very unfortunate, but he's still going nice and strong, trying to put in as many laps as he can. That is determination.
Yeah, these guys definitely don't give up. They keep pushing even through the damage. They're trying to gain as many points as they can to help with their season standing here. Meanwhile, we are back 2 wide up front. The 5 of Jason Ashby has caught the 911 of John LaBeouf, but they are battling side by side. But man, there is like 6 cars on that inside lane compared to the 3 on the middle lane.
And further back in the pack, we have the 21 of Trevor White being pushed by the 17 of Jerome Bethune, who does have some damage of a lifetime on the front end of that Ford Mustang, but it's still going nice and strong, pushing 180. Looks like it's pushing 180 max. And the 21 of Trevor White most likely has to back it up to him for him to keep up. But that is teamwork. That is very good sportsmanship on these guys' parts, but they are now about 7 seconds behind that lead pack of 54 of Lance Marsh, challenging 78 of Ronald McManus. We have the 45 Eddie Hawks trying to catch the 59 of David White, the 3 of Robertson here behind this lead pack.
Yeah, they're not too far off from that lead pack, so they can still get a chance as they go around another lap car. That is going to be the 88 of James O'Brien, but they are just keep pushing here as this field is definitely spread out.
And this is lap number 28. We have 68 laps remaining. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will take our first commercial break of tonight's race so we can thank our sponsors and so you guys can get a chance to get your refreshments and popcorn. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Don't Text and Drive 95 by Mike Taylor. That was round 6 of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by HighTorqueTexas.com and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com. And remember, don't text and drive. Stay alive. That's PADD. Do not text and drive. Don't text and drive. Stay alive. Don't text and drive is the saying, and it's PADD. Check them out at PADD.org. That's PADD.org. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Dre Broadcasting Network. And hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when every single time we go live. Well, going back to tonight's race, we are being led by the 911 John LaBeouf. We have the 5 Jason Ashby second, the 60 of Cotton Lane third, the 59 of David White fourth, and the 95 of Jeffrey Ford in the 5th place spot. And that's currently round up our top 5. But we do have 3 cars in the bottom lane, 3 cars on the outside line. They are neck and neck. We have 60 Cotton Lane, 95 Jeffrey Ford, and 3 of Robertson on the outside. 911 John LaBeouf, the 5 of Ashby, and the 59 of David White on the inside line. And further back behind them, we have Lance Marsh here trying to hang on to their draft. So far, he does seem to be very close enough. So in no time, he should be able to suck up to them and get up to the 3 of Robertson here in no time. And he does so as we speak. And behind him, he does at 78 of Ron McManus, who is trying to catch up as well.
Yeah, it's looking here. We've had some early cautions that took out a lot of the field. We currently have 9 cars up on the lead lap, but we still have 14 machines out on the track, still trying to get some laps back here as we are 61 laps to go. These guys are running right about 17 laps since their last pit stop. So probably within the next 10 to 15 laps, we should start seeing some green flag pit stops.
Yep, and there with a pack this small, my guess would be these guys will most likely be going down pit road as is. They'll be going down as the pack. It probably wouldn't be as bad as it would have been if it were the bigger pack we started with. Because right now, Dave, this pack right now, if they do go down pit road at the same time, it will benefit all of them. But if they do go down alone, then they will suffer. And right now the lead pack is catching up to another slower lap car in the front. There we do have the 17 of Jerome Bethome. He is quite a long ways ahead of them. And the 21 of Trevor White will be next in line. Going to be going one more lap down to put 3 laps down. 17 of Jerome Bethome going to be going 1 lap down because he is currently still on the lead lap. And this pack is coming at him too wide. He most likely will stay high to let them by. That 95 of Jeffrey Ford pushing on the 60 of Cotton Lane, still trying to help him get the race back on the 911 of John LaBeouf, but so far having no luck. That 5 of Jason Ashby is pushing off for dear life on the 911 of John LaBeouf, helping him maintain the lead every single lap. 17 of Jerome Berthome does stay high. He let these guys, he lets them all go by. And the 911 of John LaBeouf does jump up the outside line. The 5 of Jason Ashby will be left to lead the bottom lane. And the 60 of Cotton Lane pushing the 911 of LaBeouf, who then goes back down to that bottom lane. And that was most likely a strategy for the 5 of Ashby to get some air on the backstretch there, entering turn 3. So it's a very good strategy. And that 60 of Cotton Lane did lose some speed because they all had to check up or slow down on the outside line for the 911 of LaBeouf, who jumped up there. But now they're trying to do it again and get back up to speed and try and challenge him once again for that race lead.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a 3-car on the outside, 3-car on the inside. There is Colton Lane, Jeffrey Ford, and Dale Robertson on the outside. LaBeouf, Ashby, and White on the inside. Well, we still got Lance Marsh back here in the 78 of Ronald McManus as they get around the 813 of Mike Taylor, putting him yet another lap down.
And Dave, down pit road, we do have a first driver. I'm not sure if it's a green flag pit stop, but most likely is. That's going to be the 21 of Trevor White down pit road here, getting some service on that machine. Doesn't seem to be damaged at all. He does have a very brand new looking Toyota Camry there. And he's been on pit road for over 40 seconds and counting as we speak. I'm not sure if he has some internal damage that he's trying to get fixed there, but most likely would be the case. We look forward to seeing him getting back out there as soon as possible, but then going back up from the 911. John LaBeouf takes back the race. Then the 5 of Ashby will follow him. They all go up onto the middle lane to block the outside on the 60 of Lane and the 95 of Jeffrey Ford.
Yeah, they only got a 2-car push there on the outside, as everybody is back down on bottom there, so they don't have any help, but they are coming up some lap cars here. Coming up on, looks like the 14 of Paul D. Johnson and the 45 of Eddie Hawks, as they are able to get around them.
In that 12, Lance Marsh does back it up to the 78 of Ronald McManus to pick him up, and Ronald McManus being shown the first car lap down. So if a caution were to come out, he would be eligible for that lucky dog. He isn't the greatest position to get the lucky dog. And up front, Dave, we are now 3 wide. The 911 Joe LaBeouf gets split down the middle, 3 wide with the 60 of Lane, 95 Jeffrey Ford, and the 5 Ash with the 95 Ford drifts way high there, entering turn 3 and scrapes the wall. And that he does lose all his momentum, all his speed, and has to back it up and get around and do it all over again. And the 60 of Cotton Lane will pay the price on the outside line. Oh, now go back double wide. 95 Jeffrey Ford, 60 Cotton Lane, 911 John LaBeouf on the inside line, 59 of David White, keeping his distance away from the 5 of Jason Ashby, so he can be able to see that yellow line, because you do not want to be, you don't want to touch that apron on the yellow line, doing 195 plus miles an hour, because it is a recipe for disaster. That 911 of John LaBeouf does drop down to that inside line in front of the 5 of Jason Ashby, who will then become his pusher. The 60 of Cotton Lane tries his best to take over the race lead.
Yeah, outside just can't keep connected enough to get a good run there to shoot to the front. We are now on lap 41, coming on lap 42. 54 laps remaining here at Talladega Superspeedway for the Don't Text and Drive 95, brought to you by Mike Taylor.
Oh, it looks like the 911 of 78 of Ronald McManus, just left pit road as we spoke. So he has already had his green flag pit stops, same as the 21 of Trevor White. Actually, Trevor White is still down pit road and has been on pit road for the last 2 to 3 minutes. So it looks like his problems are, he's got very major issues there that he's trying to most likely get fixed. But going back up front, the 95 Jeffrey Ford is still pushing on the 60 of Lane. The 3 of Robertson is going to join them there. And we did have one driver right in the apron when the leaders got around him. That's going to be the 813 of Mike Taylor as well, making his way down the pit road. Nope, he does just stay on the apron there, trying to get back up to speed. And by looks of it, Mike Taylor does have some heavy damage. That's limiting him to about 145 miles an hour max.
Well, taking a look here, we have dropped down to 7 cars left on the lead lap. They are all here in this pack. The 60 of Colton Lane and the 95 of Jeffrey Ford get a good push on the outside. They are able to clear the 911. Will they drop down or will they stay up there with the 3 of Dale Robertson? Looks like
95,
the 95 is going to drop down, leave 60. We got some guys breaking off and going down to pit road.
Yep, 911 of John LaBeouf, the 5 of Jason Ashby, the 59 of David White. All 3 drivers making their way down to pit road. So that leaves 4 drivers out on the track right now here in this lead pack. 95 Jeffrey Ford, 60 of Cotton Lane, the 3 of Robertson, and the 54 of Lance Marsh. Since Dave, the other guys have pitted in, they most likely will do the exact same thing. And most likely are going to be pitting in soon after. If not this lap, next lap.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that lead pack being led by the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, Colton Lane, Dale Robertson, and Lance Marsh as they are now coming into turn number 3. They are hugging down next to that yellow line. Let's see if they break off and come down pit road or if they're going to run another lap.
Oh, they all back it down here. They were making their way down to pit road. The 60 of Cotton Lane goes in hard. He goes sideways. The 3 of Robertson does the exact same thing. I'm going to try and see whether or not the 60 of Cotton Lane might have been caught speeding there. Oh, Dave, he entered pit road doing 70 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, which is 10 miles an hour more than pit speed, because pit speed is 60 miles an hour. So we're going to see how long he stays on pit road. Yes, everybody's leaving but him, so he did get caught speeding.
Well, coming off pit road, Sean, they got a little spread out with the 3 of Dale Robertson as he is gaining speed here on the through turns 1 and 2, but he has left the team that he entered with, which is going to be Jeffrey Ford and Lance Marsh, as we are waiting to see where John LaBeouf, David White, and Colton Lane just now coming off pit road.
Look at the 5 of Ashby and the 54 of Lance Marsh. These guys already up to speed or overtaking these guys. Oh, the 54 of Lance Marsh does back off to pick up the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Very, very great sportsmanship. 911 John LaBeouf here trying to play catch up, but he is a long way away from these guys. So he is pretty much just hoping for a caution so he can be able to get caught up with everybody else. 59 of David White is not too far from John LaBeouf, so he will be able to pick him up, and they will work together and most likely try their best to run down the leaders the best they can. 54 of Lance Marsh, 95 Jeffrey Ford, and the 5 of Jason Ashby. These 3 drivers do hook up to make a 3-car push.
Yeah, they're going to catch our leader, the 3 of Dale Robertson, in a hurry. 3 cars versus single car. So they are going to catch him real quick here.
Yeah, he's sitting duck at this point, Dave. It is good to have a good pit stop. It's good to have a good pit stop, but at the same time, it's bad when you're at a super speedway. I'm not saying having a bad pit stop is a good thing at a super speedway, but you definitely don't want to have too good of a pit stop because you will end up paying the price. But maybe these guys just might pick him up if he's lucky enough. But let's see what happens. Oh, they do go high. He might be lucky enough to tag along. No, 54 of Lance Marsh does back off. He peels off to pick up the 3 of Robertson here, and they will be back up to speed. Very, very good sportsmanship. Well, Dave, these guys have gone from a 3-car pack to a 4-car pack. So that is bad news for the drivers such as 911 John LaBeouf and 59 of David White.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Colton Lane is behind him, but he is a good gap behind him, so they can't make a 3-car push. We said our leaders are now in a 4-car push, being led by the 5 of Jason Ashby, Jeffrey Ford in 2nd, Dale Robertson 3rd, and Lance Marsh in 4th.
Well, Dave and ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined by a special guest, the sponsor of tonight's race, the Don't Text and Drive 95, and that's Mike Taylor. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Bummed about getting taken out in that first crash, but hey, I'm here.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very good to see you. And man, your car has seen better days.
Yeah, the past few weeks has been pretty rough for my Chevrolet, and just like last week, I was just running around getting position in those points.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And Mike, once again, so look, what we've pointed out, you are the sponsor of the Don Texan Drive 95. Would you like to talk about that once again, like you did last week at Iowa?
Oh, absolutely. The reason why the reason why I sponsored the Don't Text and Drive 95. I'm a school bus driver here in Florida, and I constantly seeing people texting and driving, and I'm constantly seeing car accidents happen every single day because of that. And I just want everybody, to understand that texting and driving is actually very, very dangerous, and I'm tired of seeing all these crashes because of it.
Yeah, most
Oh,
definitely there, Mike, is being a volunteer first responder in my community. I've seen that as well. That's definitely a great message. These guys need to learn that no text message or phone call is more important than a life, so it can wait until you can pull off the road somewhere safe. And then you can answer that text or call.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I used to be a truck driver. I remember driving through New York, and they actually had text stops all throughout the state over on the highways, and I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah, definitely. All those deaths could be avoided, all those crashes and all those injuries as well. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, stay alive. Don't text and drive. PADD, PADD.org, PADD.org. People against distracted driving. It can wait. And Mike, you talked about the race, how you've had a rough couple of weeks there, but you still come out each and every week to try the best you can. And next race, you're going to be at Road America. Do you think you have what it takes to spank these guys?
Oh, definitely not. I'm going to be straight up honest. I'm definitely not a road racer. I'm still new on the road racing side, but I'm looking forward to Road America and get my hands dirty on that road course and hopefully bring out at least a top 10 out of that would be nice.
Yeah, that is the spirit right there. And I personally do not have any experience whatsoever at that track, so I'm excited to see exactly what you guys have in store for us there at that race. That will be round 7 on June 4th. Once again, we don't have a race next week because of the Memorial Day weekend. We definitely do have the race after that on June 4th. Right now, we did see some green flag pit stops take place there, Mike, and we had the 95 Jeffrey Ford, the 3 of Robertson, 5 Jason Ashley, 54 of Lance Marsh. All these guys were able to find each other, but the 911 of John LaBeouf did pay the price. Looks like he had a bad pit stop.
Yeah, the 911 definitely did disappear, and now we're just looking at those 4 guys running up front. So maybe someone can find LaBeouf and bring him back up towards the front and run with these 4 up here.
Yeah, it looks like 911 LaBeouf and 59 of David White. These drivers are hooked up, so they're most likely just hoping for a caution, because as we speak, they are about 10 seconds behind the lead pack. They're pushing about 189 miles an hour max speed compared to the lead pack that's pushing about 195 to 197 miles an hour. So that is a very, very big difference.
Oh, that's a huge difference. Something I've been noticing in practice is that when you only got 2 cars, but as soon as you get that 3 or 4 cars lined up, those cars are definitely a lot faster than those 2. So the odds of them catching them, they're going to need a caution for that to happen.
Yeah, and right now this lead pack is actually catching up to some slower traffic. They have the 78 of Ronald McManus here, who's just getting up to speed. They have 14 of Johnson, Cody Johnson, and the 45 Eddie Hawks further up ahead. 45 Eddie Hawks, 78 of Ronald McManus. These drivers are both a lap down and are most likely fighting for the lucky dog if a caution does come out.
Yeah, that lucky dog is definitely going to be huge here. And as we're looking, we got about 7 cars on the lead lap, so that 8th car that can get back on the lead lap, if they can get that lucky dog, it's going to be huge. And it looks like the leaders are had to check up from that 78.
Oh yeah, they have to slow down a lot. They're now trying to get back up to speed as we speak. The 78 from Ron McManus, they just might pick him up and go from a 4-car pack to a 5-car pack, which will once again work in their favor, because the more cars they have, the more speed they'll have, the more momentum they'll have, and the more time they'll gain. And it's the more bad news it is for everybody else on the track, namely 911 John LaBeouf, David White, Eddie Hawks, and the 14 of Johnson.
Oh, absolutely. As more cars get in this pack, they're going to get quicker and quicker. So the 911 really has to figure out what he's going to do to get back up there with them.
And the 78 of Ron McManus seems to have backed it off and falls in line behind the 14 of Johnson and the 45 of Eddie Hawks. These drivers are trying to catch on the draft of this lead pack, this 4-car lead pack. 3 of Robertson, the 5 Ashby, 95 Jeffrey Ford, and once again the 54 of Lance Marsh.
Yeah, the cars coming through 3 and 4 now, and the guy I'm really watching is that number 5 car, Jason Ashby. In practice, he was very, very strong. Him and his partner, unfortunately, his partner was taken out in, I believe, in that second accident that we saw. So I'm definitely watching the number 5 and the number 3. I'm also watching. Those are very strong cars today.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the 5, Jason Ashby, he did have the fastest lap time in practice, and his teammate, the 8 of Stephen Aguiar, who he had the second fastest lap time, so they were 1 and 2 on the board. And Jason Ashby's fastest lap time was a 48.835. But I'm guessing those numbers wouldn't really mean nothing to the viewers out there, but that is very, very fast here in the draft, as right now their pace has dropped down a lot to about 50 seconds from 48 in practice.
Yeah, the track condition definitely changed between the practice session and the race session. Practice, these cars were wicked fast. I mean, they just were flying. I could barely keep up with them.
And up front right now, these guys are just messing around with each other. They go 3 wide, the 5 Ashby in the middle, the 54 of Lance Marsh on the inside, 95 Jeffrey Ford, the 3 of Robertson on the outside line. The outside line just might be the place to be the third lane, that is, since they have 2 cars compared to everybody else who has only 1 lone cars, and they go back to double foul. 95 of Ford, the 3 of Robertson both clear the inside, but decide to stay high. Nope, they both go down ahead of the 5 of Ashby and the 54 of Marsh. And this does give us some time to get another commercial break in, so you guys can get your second round of popcorn and refreshments with 39 laps remaining. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Don't Text and Drive 95 by Mike Taylor as a part of round 6 of the American iRacing Sunday Series here at the Precision Racing League, brought to you by HyTorqueTexas.com, that is HYTORC Texas.com, and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, don't text and drive. Stay alive, don't text and drive, PADD. That is PADD.org. People Against Distracted Driving, check them out. You can texting and drive. Texting can wait, but you can always get back to a text, but you can never replace a life that you lose due to texting, which is very. Basically, you need to think about others before thinking about yourselves. But going back to tonight's race, we are being led by the 95 Jeffrey Ford, the 3 of Robertson in second place, the 5 of Ashby trying to challenge him on the outside line. We have the 54 of Lance Marsh here in this lead pack, and so far that gives us only a 4-car lead pack. And 78 of Ron McManus trying his best to catch up to them here. He does have their draft and is pulling them in here every single lap, slowly every single lap, and is being shown 2 laps down, so he is trying to get his lap back the hard way.
Yeah, trying to get your lap back at a super speedway is definitely a really hard one, but it is possible. I've seen it many times before, so I'm excited to see if he can actually get in front of these lead cars and get that lap back.
Well, going a little further back there, Sean, it looks like the 911 of John LaBeouf has picked up 2 more cars. The 59 of David White and the 45 of Eddie Hawks are running in a 3-car pack here, as they are trying to, looks like they're going to try to get up to Corey Blevins there in the 24 and maybe see if they can't make a push to try to catch back up to these leaders.
Yeah, and from the last time we checked, John LaBeouf and 59 of White, before they had picked up some cars, they were about 10 seconds behind that lead pack, and now it went from 20 seconds to 22 seconds just this lap. So it looks like they are losing some time here and there just because they're not as bunched up as everybody else up there. It looks like 45 Eddie Hawks is damaged quite a bit, quite badly actually, in the front end there. So it is affecting the top speed or the top end of that machine, but he's still trying his best to make a difference, or a little bit of a difference here in that speed, as they do go around 24 of Corey Blevins, who will stay high to let them by.
Well, also taking a look, Sean, here we have 31 laps remaining. These guys have been about 21 laps since their last pit stop. That means we are got one more set of green flag pit stops, and they should be able to make it on fuel.
Yeah, I'm sure that next green flag pit stop, the final pit stop will be very important for all those guys who have fallen off the pace, so they will try and get in there as hot as they can, as hot and clean as they can, so they can be able to make up as much time as possible. And maybe even wishing some bad luck for the guys up here so they can benefit from the mistakes of others, because pit stops are not for everybody. It's very difficult to go from 195 plus miles an hour down to pit speed, which is 60 miles an hour. Usually drivers do spin out entering.
Yeah, taking a look at our race report here, Sean. We've had 2 cautions here at Talladega tonight. We've had 23 lead changes as we are being led by the 95 Jeffrey Ford.
And Mike, have you ever had any incidents entering pit road for green flag pit stops?
Oh gosh, I remember back when I first started here on iRacing, pit stops, I always dreaded doing them because for some odd reason I would get in too hot and I'll always spin it out, hit that wall. And so many embarrassing moments, especially here at Talladega, getting in hot, and then you get that pit road speeding penalty, which is a 15-second penalty, plus on top of the damage you get for hitting that wall. It can cost you a lot here at Talladega.
Oh, absolutely. And I am the exact same way. I'm not a very big fan of green flag pit stops when I'm behind the wheel. Every single time I'm racing and green flag pit stops are about to come out, green flag pit stops are about to take place, I always start shivering and just pretty much start praying and hoping for a caution so I can be able to go down at down a safe speed. And right now, speaking of green flag pit stops, the 5 of Jason Ashby does peel off. Looks like he will not be followed. He goes down pit road on his own. He backs down to 60 miles an hour. No harm was done. Very nicely done on his part. but everybody else does decide to stay out, but this just might hunt him.
It very might well, especially that he doesn't have a teammate at this point in the race. And late in the race, it's going to be hard as he slides into his pit stop. We'll just have to see what the other three guys do. See if they decide to come one at a time or if they're going to come in as a pack.
And 12 Lance Marsh right now is trying his best to catch up to them. He's drifting high. Most likely he's unchecking his boxes here, telling his pit crew what exactly he wants to take. And he does back it down here off turn 4. He gets back in the gas, realizes the guys in front of him are not pitting in, so he puts it down to try and catch up to them. And because of that, he will lose some time as he tries to catch up to them once again.
Oh, absolutely. That was a big mistake on his part. He should have stuck with his plan, get down into pits, get his tires, and then he could have possibly gone back with Jason Ashby as he was coming back up to speed.
As for back in the pack here, 28 of Eric Roberts is back on the track here, trying to put down as many laps as he can. He is 36 laps down, got involved in one of the big wrecks we had early on, but he's still determined to get the job done, put in as many laps as he can, get the most points possible, make his pit crew proud, make us proud here on the broadcast. And going very nice and strong with a very, very nice looking paint scheme, well-dressed machine of the High Torque Texas paint scheme.
Oh, I definitely feel Eric's pain right now. I was out there running around only going about 144 and everybody was blowing by me, and it looks like he's actually able to keep up at 181 miles an hour, so his car is beat up, but he's able to keep pace.
Yeah, and he was also lucky enough to catch 78 of Ron McManus, so he can be able to get a little bit of draft from him, suck up to his back bumper, and hopefully they hook up and increase that speed from 180 to maybe about 190 if they're lucky enough. Because the damage he has, he most likely won't be able to break the 190 barrier.
Yeah, that'll definitely be very hard to do, especially with him having the front end damage. But the airflow will go right over that 78 car, and it will gain him at least 5 miles an hour.
And look at this, we do have some green flag pits that just took place. 3 Robertson exited pit road, 54 Lance Marsh, and the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Jeffrey Ford seems to have beaten them off pit road. So now let's see who we have left to still need to pit in. We have Pody Johnson right now, who most likely is going to be pitting in this time by. And David's actually right on the in-car with Pody Johnson, just so we can watch him pit in. Well, if he pits in, let's see, fingers crossed. Oh, actually, looks like he decides to stay out here with the pack that has picked him up. 54 Lance Marsh and 3 of Robertson here. He's back up to speed as we speak. His car is beat up here and there, but it's still good enough to get the job done. He is being shown. Actually, lost him there. 1 second. Oh, there he is. He's actually being shown 5 laps down. Still going nice and strong, and was still being able to keep the pace. And he has some cars approaching behind the pack. It's the 95 Jeffrey Ford and 54 Lance Marsh.
Yeah, Jason Ashby really got hurt by deciding by pitting by himself. As Marsh, Ford, and Robertson, they decided to pit together. So Jason Ashby is now about 5 seconds behind, and with no drafting help, the 3 leaders are just going to pull away here.
Oh yeah, that's a very, very bad thing for Jason Ashby. Very, very bad spot to be caught in, and the next cars in line that are coming up are a long ways back, and that's going to be Jerome Berthome, who will be pushed. She lost us. Be pushed by 24 of Corey Blevins, and both drivers are damaged and are pushing about 181 miles an hour max speed. So hopefully they can be able to catch Jason Ashby in time. Well, actually, Jason is pushing the same speed on his own without any draft, so they won't be able to catch up to him whatsoever. So his best bet right now, Mike, is just to get a caution so he can be able to get bunched up with everybody else.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be very helpful for Jason Ashby, John LaBeouf, and David White, as those cars are still on the lead lap, but 32 seconds behind. It looks like we got the 95 actually pulling out to about a half-second lead here as they cross the start-finish line. I don't know if Marsh and Robertson are trying to plan to go sling by him or what.
And also one thing I noticed there, Mike, was that these drivers pitted in with about 21 laps on their tires for the most part. And at that time, they had 28 laps remaining in the race. So if that was them running the tanks dry, that would mean there would be 6 to 7 laps short. So maybe these guys are just backing off on purpose, trying to save some gas.
Oh, that's very possible. I'm watching them, and they're actually not staying in line. I don't know if they're just playing around right now or if they're really racing here. But Jason Ashby is actually back down to a 3 second behind these guys.
So maybe this could be one of two things, Mike. They could be maybe they're just trying to back it down and to pick him up, or they're backing it down to save some gas. But no, he tries to get around both the 54 of Lance Marsh and the 3 of Robertson. He most likely will prepare because he has a lot more speed than they do. And the 3 of Robertson try to push him up the track, and oh, he goes high. He clears the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. He clears everybody. Let's see as they try and catch up to him. Yes, they do pick up the pace now, so they were just waiting for him.
Oh, how nice of them. That's one thing I'm really liking about this league. Precision Racing League here, this is my first season with them, and I had my teammate drop out a few weeks ago. And ever since then, these guys, they're absolutely phenomenal. They're definitely very helpful, and, you know, seeing them do something like that, dropping back to help Ashby, it does not surprise me at all.
Oh, absolutely. Full of great drivers, great sportsmanship indeed. And right now they do make it once again a 4-car pack. And that is once again more bad news or worse news for the 17 of Jerome Bethune, the 24 of Corey Blevins. They will lose more time, and they will lose a lot of time because of it, and most likely will go 1 or 2 more laps down before this thing is over, as we now have only 21 laps remaining before it ends.
Oh, absolutely. There's going to have to be some miracle for the caution to come out at this point, as there's only 6 cars here on the lead lap, and we still got some running, but the odds of caution coming out is very not likely.
And Mike, we have another driver who has a very, very clean car. That's going to be 60 of Colton Lane. I haven't spoken much of him tonight, but he is also an amazing driver here at the Precision Racing League. Started 11th, currently 7th place spot, being shown 1 lap down, first car lap down. And his car is as clean gets. There's a little bit of a wrinkle there actually on the hood, but it's barely noticeable. And he is trying his best to catch up to the lead pack, and the lead pack is nowhere to be seen. The cars he has in sight are the 24 of Blevins and the 17 of Jerome Bethune, and they're pushing about the same speed. So at this point, he probably won't be able to catch them, and that lead pack will most likely catch him before he catches up to the 24 of Blevins and the 17 of Jerome.
Oh, that's definitely because he is by himself. Colton is another one that I've always had my eye on every week. He's always fast no matter where we go, so if you're always placing a bet on these guys, Colton is definitely one to keep your eye on week in, week out.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very great driver indeed. Hasn't had the best season. Didn't have the best season last season, but trying his best to make the best out of this season. Have a better season than he did last season, as this is the halfway mark, Mike. And Mike, you have talked about how you haven't had the best season, the best start to this season, and already in the halfway. Do you think if things were to pick up from now on, you would still have a chance at the top 3 or at least the top 5 in the points?
Oh man, you never know with racing. Anything can happen. So next week and all the other weeks after that, I'm going to come out, do my best. That's all I can do. And you know, like today and last week, I just rode around, get those points, and see where it gets me.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Spoken like a very, very determined driver, which you are. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Don't Text and Drive 95, sponsored by the one and only A13 of Mike Taylor. And up front right now, the top 4 drivers just pretty much riding nose to tail. And we have lost the 28 of Eric Roberts retiring for the night. But once again, looking forward to seeing all these drivers back again for round 7 at Road America on June 4th.
Yeah, Road America is definitely going to be a lot of fun. I haven't had much experience with these cars on road courses, so it's going to be very interesting for me next week. And I heard that there's a couple guys that are still out there right now that we got to keep an eye on.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Road America, it's just gonna be very interesting to see exactly how these left turning machines handle the right turns for once. And usually, what I've seen in previous races, the right side, actually, when they turn right, that left side does tend to lift off the ground, and usually the right side sometimes. It definitely will be interesting to see how you guys handle it, because you guys did very well last time we went to Watkins Glen.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't there for when we went to Watkins Glen, but you know, watching these cars, no matter what series goes to Watkins Glen, it's always a blast to watch. Watkins Glen is just one of those tracks that you want to race, you want to watch. Sometimes I'll skip a race just so I can watch, because always Watkins Glen always puts on a good show.
That's a very, very great track. It does bring the best out of every single driver. It does bring the best speed out of all these machines. And look at this right here, Mike. We do have another driver, another addition here to the lead pack. 59 of David White coming out of nowhere and catching this lead pack.
Oh, absolutely. David White looks like he just went a lap down here. I had the honor of racing David last night in the Indianapolis 500 here on iRacing. And that didn't end too well for me either. But David's always fun to watch, and it was definitely fun watching him run the Indy 500. And I'm now looking forward to always racing with him.
Absolutely, very, very amazing driver indeed. And speaking of those Indy cars, they are a different beast compared to these B cars. These B cars, you can beat and bang all day and have no problems, nothing but a scratch. But once you make contact with those Indy cars, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, I experienced that earlier today at the 8 a.m. race, and oh man, then I jump into this for practice tonight. I'm like, man, these cars are slow.
Oh, I bet. And yeah, the Indy cars have also a very aggressive sound, and usually you don't even have to, when you blink. I mean, you don't even want to blink when you're driving those things, so they're just so fast. You feel like if you blink, you're pretty much done for. You're going to end up wrecking or something.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if I was blinking during the Indianapolis 500. And those cars are just wicked fast, and blink, I wouldn't even dare to.
And going further back in the pack, in 911, John LaBeouf does have the 45 Eddie Hawk, 78 of Ron McManus here. Actually another driver, the 60 of Cotton Lane. They now have a 4-car pack against a 5-car pack up front, and that gives us 14 laps remaining here in tonight's race. So the speed here of this pack is going to increase quite a bit, with the 911 John LaBeouf leading it and trying their best to catch up to the lead pack being led by the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we took a final commercial break of tonight's race, so you can get your last round of popcorn and refreshments. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Don't Text and Drive 95 by Mike Taylor as round 6 of the American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by HighTorqueTexas.com and the Brake Mod at thebrakemod.com at the Precision Racing League. Well, going back to the race, looks like we have had a couple of drivers go down pit road for their third green flag pit stop of the night, namely Jason Ashby and John LaBeouf. Ron McManus just went in as I was speaking there. But we have the top 3 drivers deciding to stay out, including David White. So Jeffrey Ford, Dale Robertson, Lance Marsh, and David White. And also not to forget the 95 or the 14 of Cody Johnson. So I guess I might have been right. These guys might be about 6 to 7 laps short on gas if they didn't pit in. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But speaking of that, the lead pack has backed it down from 190 plus miles an hour down to about 170, in between 175 to 180 there. So they are trying to save gas, less gas input, which means more gas saved to try and maximize their fuel mileage. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens to them, because we now have about 8 laps remaining for the end of the race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. We had Jason Ashby, just as we were coming back from commercial, he was coming out of the pits. He actually spun it and hit the inside wall nose first, but I'm not seeing too much damage on that Wrangler Chevrolet, so we'll see. He's able to run 181 by himself, so he might be okay.
Yeah, that's the exact same speed you would run if you didn't have any damage on your own, and he does have 24. Corey Blevins catching up to him. Well, actually, Corey Blevins has some heavy damage and is actually running 2 miles slower than Jason Ashby, so he will not be able to catch him anytime soon, or if he won't be able to catch him at all, because that speed difference is very great. He's pulling away from you every single lap. But up front, the top 3 drivers, 95 Jeffrey Ford, 54 Lance Marsh, and Dale Robertson, also 59 of David White. These guys just backing down, trying to save some gas. Well, fingers crossed for these guys, because we now have 6 laps remaining.
Yeah, they backed it down. They were running about 190, now they are running 175. Pretty much they're going to see who can get the best fuel mileage, and that's probably who's going to win the race.
And because of these drivers staying out and everybody else pitting in for a third time, we do have only 4 drivers on the lead lap, and only 3 drivers on the lead lap in the lead pack. And the 4th driver on the lead lap, or the last car on the lead lap, is in the 5 of Jason Ashby, who is a lone car out there, 37 seconds behind this pack, but he is catching them because they are backing off to save some gas. Oh, actually, I hear those engines stopping here and there. So they are now going down to almost 160 miles an hour from 190. So that's actually 30 miles slower.
Yeah, these guys are praying that they can make it to the end here, as we do see them slowing down even more, little bit by little bit. So, well, I think it's going to come down to who's got the best fuel mileage here.
And look at that, Mike. We do have the 911 of John LaBeouf with his own army, the 45 of Eddie Hawks, and the 17 of Jerome Berthome. These guys get around them as though they're in jack stands. And the question remains, can John LaBeouf get his lap back the hard way? Because right there, he just got his lap back. But can he make it all the way around again to get some spots?
Oh, that's going to be real tough to do, as we only have 4 laps to go, it looks like. And with them still running, Dale actually picked up the speed back up to 182, 181, running third. So we'll have to see. I just don't think he's going to have enough time.
Yeah, this is now 5 laps to go. We just started facing for 4 laps to go, so that's now 4 laps remaining, and now 5 cars on the lead lap, up from 5 cars from 4 cars, as the 911 of LaBeouf got his lap back the hard way and continues to go at a very, very high rated speed compared to the top 3 drivers who are saving gas, even though they seem to have picked up the pace quite a bit. Yes, Lance Marsh right now has picked up the pace and is doing about 193 miles an hour, catching the 17 of Jerome, but then backs it all the way down. Backs up 17 of Jerome Berthome, so I'm not sure what that was about there, but most likely just got up to speed to try and clutch it in.
Oh, most likely that's probably what that was. He was probably trying to give himself enough of a lead so that if he does end up running out of fuel, he'll have that cushion to see if he can cross the start-finish line first.
And that did break up the lead pack. Last time we checked, 59 of David White was part of the lead pack, but he picked up the 5 of Jason Ashby, because he did go down pit road and then came out and found the 5 of Ashby. So they are now working together to try and catch up to the lead pack, which is 34 seconds ahead of them, but they are determined to do the best they can, because that's all they can do to make a difference in their positions if they can before this thing is over. We have now 3 laps remaining.
Absolutely. It's going to be real tough for Ashby to get back up there, because they are 33 seconds, and they are running 10 miles an hour faster. So all we can do is just watch and see what happens here.
And that 60 of Cotton Lane right now stays high to let everybody by. 9-11 John Labat, 45 Eddie Hawk, 17 Jerome Berthon, but then falls back in line to get that draft, increase that speed, get his lap back the hard way, hopefully, because he is still a lap down, trying to be back on the lead lap before this thing is over. And it is now 2 to green, and the next flag will be the white flag and the final lap.
Absolutely. These top 3 here, they are really starting to get racy as Dale Robertson takes the lead going down into 3. So here they're coming out of 4 now, so it's going to be very nice to see who's going to run out of fuel first.
And I'm pretty sure, Mike, once they cross the start finish line for the white flag, they most likely will all go hammer down to the floor, because they just might be comfortable enough, but just depending on what their gauges are telling them. And by the looks of it, nope, the Dale Robertson does seem to be slowing down, and so does 95 Jeffrey Ford, 54 of Lance Marsh doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, they're definitely slowing down a little bit more as Lance Marsh looks on the inside of Jeffrey Ford here going down the backstretch. Now he gets up behind him, pushing Jeffrey Ford, trying to get in front of Dale here as they come down the backstretch for the final time.
Yep, and they have now all picked up the pace. The 3 of Robertson trying his best to get the draft of the 95 Jeffrey Ford, and most likely get around on him, but 95 Jeffrey Ford backs it off to avoid him getting that run. They make contact. 95 Jeffrey Ford goes high there. Heavy damage. The 3 of Robertson involved in that. 54 of Lance Marsh will bring this thing home. The 3 of Robertson second. The 95 Jeffrey Ford looks like he might have run out of gas. Wow, what a nice time to run out of gas. He does come out in the 3rd place spot. Very, very hard fought battle among these 3 drivers. And that 5, Jason Ashby, still going nice and strong on the track, coming out in the 4th place spot. 9-11 John Labat 5th, and that's going to round up the top 5. But going back up front, 54 of Lance Marsh as well. Runs out of gas. He's actually clutching it in, so I'm questioning it. We just might not be able to see a smoke show. But stay tuned. We are going to be interviewing the top 3 drivers: Lance Marsh, Dale Robertson, and Jeffrey Ford.
That was definitely an awesome race for the top 3 there coming down to the end, as we see Robertson going to get behind the 54 and push him back around to the start-finish line.
Well, we do have our top 3 drivers here, as the 54 of Lance Marsh being pushed by the 3 of Dale Robertson. Run out of gas from too much fuel saving. Well, not too much fuel saving, but the fuel saving strategy there. Well, we're not going to see a smoke show from him, but you got a cup there, Lance?
Yeah, man, I got a coffee.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, man, I feel pumped, man. First win of PRL. Been racing these guys since season 2, man. It's amazing.
Oh man, we definitely want to congratulate you on that. And Lance, you are an amazing driver. We have noticed that trouble does seem to find you every single time throughout all the seasons that we usually have. But tonight you were able to push through that and come out with your 54 machine with some damage on the left side, but he still got the job done. Very nice fuel saving strategy, very precise, which did run out after crossing the start finish line. Tell us about your race tonight, buddy.
Oh, man, just, start in the back like I usually do, just try to avoid everything. And, once them first 2 big cautions came out, I figured, hey man, I'm top 8. I have a chance of this. Just try to take it easy, come down pit road, and save the fuel that last lap. I don't know how I made it the whole last run, but hey, I'm here in victory lane.
Oh, copy that, brother. And you guys had 2 green flag pit stops. Well, some drivers had 3, but you had 2 green flag pit stops. Give us a rundown about what was going through your mind during those green flag pit stops.
Well, first one, I just tried to stay clean. I blew past the pit that first green flag, but made it, stayed with the lead lap. Then that second one, I was just trying to hit my marks, not spin coming on or spin coming out. And I think what helped me at the end there is I was following them lead 3, saving fuel every turn that whole last run.
Oh man, sounds like a very, very good strategy, because it did end up working out in the long run here, helping you come from 24th place to 1st place, gaining 23 spots overall. But Lance, after next week on June 4th, we are going to be shifting gears quite a bit, going from full throttle racing, from full throttle and left turn racing, to a little bit of full throttle to left-right racing at a road course. So what are your thoughts about that?
If I don't get DQ'd because of incidents, I'll be doing good for the day.
Oh, 10-4. And have you had any experience at Road America at all?
No, not out. Not no racing. I've practiced a little bit for myself, but man, I'm not a road racer. That's not my expertise, I guess. I like the oval racing.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you there once again, June 4th, Road America round number 7. And actually, tonight's race, Lance, did mark the halfway mark in the season. Do you think you have what it takes to advance your spot here in the points, so you can hopefully come out in the podium, or at least take the championship away from Das Patapsco before it ends?
I don't know, man. I think I can stay in the top 5, hopefully. Dallas, James, them guys up front they're tough. They're really good. So I just hope to finish top 10 every race I can, and maybe stay top 5, 7 in points. That'd be a win for me. Going back to these past couple seasons, been pretty bad.
Yeah, very, very nice goals indeed. And once again, I'll congratulate you on your first win here at Talladega Superspeedway here in the season as well. And before I let you go, but any final words?
No, I just want to thank High Torque of Texas for sponsoring us, the Brake Mod sponsoring us. Just want to thank my teammate Paul for being in my ear there, helping me through that last bit of lap with the fuel savage, and go Big D's Racing.
Congratulations, buddy, and look forward to seeing you again round 7 at Road America.
All right, thank you. Take care.
And that was tonight's race winner, the 54 of Lance Marsh. But right behind him is the 3 of Dale Robertson, assisting him there just to the start-finish line after the checkered flag had flown. You get a cup there, Dale?
Yeah, I got you.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing good too, thank you. Very, very speechless. You guys put in a heck of a show out there, and holy cow, Dale, how the heck were you able to sneak past those big 2 wrecks that we had in the beginning?
And I honestly have no idea how I did that, man. I was saving all kinds for the last 20 laps, and I definitely thought that those guys that pitted were going to pass us. Man, that was the most insane race I think I've ever done.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Well, we are glad that you survived it, and your car came out with only a little bit of a scratch there, most likely from pushing the disabled 54 Lance Marshall start-finish line there. But you did put an amazing show, kept your nose clean, or tried to keep your nose clean, and did so successfully tonight, and finished in the 2nd place spot, taking it over from the 95 of Jeffrey Ford there on the exit of turn number 4. And give us a rundown of the green flag pit stops, because we did notice some drivers went in too hot and got caught speeding.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Colton Lane. He was sticking with us, and he sped on the first green flag pit stop, and that sucks. He was going to run with us. He might have had a chance for the win. But, you know, it's just anytime you're green flag pitting, it's stressful, especially out here. You got to make sure that you don't lose the pack. And we decided, because Jason pitted 1 lap before us on that last one, we decided we'd slow down for him. I mean, we just kind of trying to be courteous. There was 4 of us left. We might as well have. He ended up pitting later anyways. But yeah, it's just, I mean, to even make it like when I passed the line, I still had about half a lap of fuel left, so I could have maybe run for that win, but you know, it is what it is.
Oh, absolutely, brother. But we are glad that you were able to secure your spot here in the podium in second place, 54 of Lance Marsh. And we're thinking about your strategy there. Do you think there was anything different you could have done besides the fuel saving strategy there to better your chance at staying ahead or getting ahead of 54 of Lance Marsh? Because it did seem as though you were sitting back from the 95 of Ford and the 54 of Lance Marsh, because they did hook up and get around you on the outside.
Yeah, we were all kind of trying some stuff to save a little bit of fuel. I mean, it worked out or not. I mean, you know, we had some fun. That was pretty good. And Jeffrey ran out of fuel coming out of the 4 there. I tried to push him, but it was no use. That kind of slowed me down. So that was probably the only thing that I think I could have done differently to get myself that win.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Very, very good sportsmanship on your part. And we are shifting gears for round 7 at Road America. Any experience there at all?
I've done a couple races there, mostly in the Grand Touring cars, but I'll see what I can do there. That's one of my better tracks, road courses in general, I mean. So we'll see what I can do.
Well, brother, you finished in second place tonight after starting the 9th place spot, gaining 7 spots overall. Before I let you go, any final words, buddy?
I just got to thank Jeffrey Ford. He was helping me out. We were talking, we were working together. That was all kinds of good. I got to thank High Torque of Texas and the Brake Mod. They're doing a lot sponsoring us, so I just want to thank them.
Well, congratulations once again on your second place finish, and look forward to seeing you again after next week for round 7 at Road America. Have a good night, buddy.
Thank you.
That was the 3 of Dale Robertson finishing in second place, but right behind him is the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, who almost put off this win. Unfortunately, he ran out of gas off of turn 4. Got a cup there, Jeff?
I do, Sean. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. A little bit light in the fuel department there, as you saw coming out of 4, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh man, Jeff. Some drivers pitted in 3 times, but you guys decided to stay out and only have 2 green flag pit stops. You kept us on the edge of our seats after that second green flag run, after we noticed the 911 of LaBeouf and the 5 of Ashby pitting in for a 3rd time, and you guys staying out. You did make us very worried, but we did know that you guys knew exactly what you were doing. You are experienced drivers, and by the looks of it, it did end up working out in your favor. But give us a rundown of that strategy. What was going through your mind while backing it down to almost 160 miles an hour, saving gas?
Yeah, we pretty much we have our programs there that tell us when we're going to run out of fuel, and ours was telling us at one point in that last run that we were going to be about a lap and a half short. So we decided with about 13-14 laps to go to start saving fuel, as you guys saw. And then with about 2 or 3 laps to go, I made the call to go ahead and go. And it might have been just a little bit premature, because you saw I ran out gas about 200-300 yards from the start finish line. But all in all, it was a blast.
Oh, copy that, Jeff. Well, we are glad that you ran out on in turn 4 rather than running out sooner, because it would have been some bad news for you. You had the 5 of Jason Ashby and the 911 of John LaBeouf hungry to take that spot away from you, but you were able to cross start finish line and finish in the 3rd place spot here after having an amazing battle throughout the whole entire race, and missing the big 2 wrecks, the 2 big junks that we had early on that took out more than half the field, and surviving. But Jeff, next week we'll be racing, or after next week we'll be racing at Road Atlanta. What should we expect to see from you there?
Everybody's waiting to hear me answer that question right now. Sean, as most of the guys in the league know, I absolutely despise road tracks. So look for me to finish in the back of the pack, unfortunately. I'm not a road guy. It's on the schedule. But I'll be there, and I'll do my best to finish as well as I can.
Oh, 10-4, Jeff. Well, brother, you finished in the 3rd place spot, gaining 17 spots overall after starting 20th with no qualifying time. That is a success in my book any day. And we look forward to seeing you once again after next week at Road America. And before we let you go, any final words, buddy?
Nah, I'd just like to thank. I'd like to thank the Precision Racing League, all the managers involved in it. They do a great job in organizing the events and making it go smooth. A lot of people don't see all the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on, but a lot of work goes into it, and kudos to them. Thanks to you guys for putting on a broadcast. I can't say enough about my teammate Colton Lane. He's had a little speeding fine in the pits, but kudos to him. He's a great teammate, and we'll be back next week. And that's pretty much all. I had a great time tonight, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, brother, congratulations on your podium tonight here, and we look forward to seeing you again for round 7 at Road America. Have a good night, buddy.
Thank you, Sean. Have a good night.
And that was 95 Jeffrey Ford, and we are joined by the 5 of Jason Ashby. Got a call there, Jason?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I am doing okay.
Well, Jason, unfortunately, you were one of the unlucky drivers who had their teammate taken out early in the race and had to depend on just pretty much drivers from other teams to increase your speed there. But give us a rundown of your whole entire race tonight, because it didn't seem as though it was a success overall.
No, I kind of disappointed in it. Once Steve went out, I started working with John LaBath, and I had Eric. He was getting his car repaired, so I had him spotting for me. And then when we went in the pits, miscommunication. John took Ford instead of 2, and then we got separated. So I was just trying to race with anybody, and I was about 3 laps short. And knew I couldn't save enough to get to the end. So I was just in for the ride, I guess.
Oh, 10-4, and by the looks of it there, Jason, only you and the 911 of John LaBeouf ended up having 3 green flag pit stops, while everybody else seemed to have had only, well, the top 3 had only 2 green flag pit stops. Thinking about it, do you think you could have done anything differently in the pit strategy to better your chances at spanking those guys?
Honestly, no. I don't know where it went wrong. I think with me running by myself for so long, I used up way too much gas, and just kind of happened that way, not having a teammate and stuff. But Steve would have stayed in it. We would have gave him a run for the money.
Well, we are glad that you were able to get your lap back, or you were able to stay on the lead lap and finish not too far back behind them in the 4th place spot. That was a top 5 with the 911 John LaBeouf, who you were working with there, even though you did end up getting separated. But you guys did an amazing job overall, avoiding the 2 big junks that we had. That ended up taking out one of your teammates, the 8 of Aguiar. You were still able to pull through that and secure yourself a top 5. Oh, but before I let you go, any final words you'd like to say?
Now, just thanks to Wrangler Jeans. Love to have a nice pair of bootcut Wrangler jeans on, and the High Torque Texas, the Brake Mod, Precision Racing League, and of course you guys at Dre Broadcasting. You do a great job. Very excited for Road America.
I want to congratulate you once again on your 4th place finish, your top 5 finish here tonight, and thank you for the kind words, and look forward to seeing you again for round 7 at Road America. Have a good one, buddy.
You too, guys. Thanks.
And that was the 5 of Jason Ashby, and that does round up the interviews of the top 4 drivers: Lance Marsh, Darrell Robertson, Jeffrey Ford, and Jason Ashby. The 911 John LaBeouf finishing the top 5 spot in the 5th place spot, rounding up the top 5 here in tonight's race. And man, that was an amazing race. I am speechless. Very, very unfortunate for all the drivers that were involved in the big junks, in the first big junk and the second big junk. Like you had talked about, Dave, the drivers do not have any backup cars, so they most of them were down in the first one, and the second one did really make it worse for them and ended their nights, because we had a lot of drivers, more than half the field retired before we were halfway down in the race. But we look forward to seeing every single driver back for round 7 on June 4th. Road America, and that will be June 4th. No race next week, but after next week, because next week is the Memorial Day weekend. And Mike, once again, I want to thank you for sponsoring tonight's race, the Don't Text and Drive 95. Ladies and gentlemen, don't text and drive. Stay alive, don't text and drive. Keep that in mind, as it rhymes. Stay alive, don't text and drive. PADD.org. People Against Distracted Driving. Check it out. And Mike, thank you for joining us up here in the booth. We will be glad to have you anytime that you would like to come up here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Sean and Dave, for having me up here today. It was a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to doing it again another time.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And that was an amazing race. Dave, any final words before we close off?
Not really, Sean. I'm just speechless like you. It came down to fuel mileage. Just an overall great race by all the drivers.
And once again, this was the Don't Text and Drive 95 by Mike Taylor as part of round 6 of the American iRacing Sunday Series here at the Precision Racing League, brought to you by HyTorqueTexas.com. That is HYTORC Texas.com. It's on the top left of the broadcast of your screen there, and also the brake mod at thebrakemod.com. Next race, once again, round 7 Road America on June 4th, after next week, but not next week. That's going to be after next week, June 4th. The next broadcast is going to be tomorrow night with the Extreme Motorsports 99 K&N Pro Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway, entitled iRacing Broadcasting Overlay Graphics. It's going to be brought to you by iBog, or IBOG, which stands for iRacing Broadcasting Overlay Graphics. I am Sean Zulu, and Dave Everly behind the cameras, being joined by Mike Taylor. And if you guys would like to see more action of super speedways and every single other track there is here in the iRacing world, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check us out at youtube.com/Dre Broadcasting Network. Have a good night, and thanks for watching. See you next race.